Imagine that you are living in the second half of the 19th century and that you are from a wealthy family. There's enough money to travel the world and you're going to the beautiful island of Capri in the Gulf of Naples. You like it so much that you consider bringing a memory. You can print one of your black and white photographs like this one from the Marina Grande in Capri, or you can ask one of the Vedute painters to create a large-scale view of the marina. Here is such a painting by Federico del Campo, measuring 16 by 26 inches or 40 by 66 centimeters. Chances are that you choose for the large colorful painting instead of the small black and white photograph. This kind of painting is called a veduta. The plural of that is vedute, which is the Italian word for views and the name of an art movement that first gained popularity in the 18th century. The vedute became popular during the periods of the Grand Tour, when wealthy foreigners traveled to Italy to admire its classical sites, picturesque vistas, unique atmosphere, and architectural splendor. The origin of the vedute can be traced back to the end of the 16th century, when artists like the Flemish Paul Bril started to create more realistic views of Rome and its surroundings. But it was only in the next century that the Dutch artist Caspar van Wittel developed the vedute genres as we know it today. Just like Bril, van Wittel was mainly active in Rome, but he extensively traveled around Italy to capture the monumental views of other cities as well. Van Wittel captured some of the famous Italian monuments and squares with a high degree of precision, and his work inspired the next generation of Italian artists like Canaletto, Francesco Guardi, and Giovanni Paolo Panini. These artists experimented with various forms of the vedute theme, ranging from views of monuments and cities that are highly realistic to views that include a lot of imagination. If the views are somewhat idealized, they are usually still referred to as vedute, but if the imaginary component takes over, they are referred to as capricci. These artists served a growing market of people participating in the Grand Tour. During the 18th century, the wealthy tourists came primarily from northern parts of Europe, particularly current-day Germany and Great Britain. By the end of the 18th and early 19th century, when Napoleon was conquering Europe, traveling was less in vogue, but it picked up after that, especially during the second half of the 19th century, when wealthy American tourists also became very interested in these trips, combining several European destinations on their travels, but usually ending their journey in Italy. So far, it may seem that I suggest that all vedute are painted in Italy, but that is of course not true. While the genre was most popular among artists working in Italy, you can find plenty of vedute of other cities across Europe. Here's a view of Warsaw, for example, and this one is from the German city of Dresden. And Canaletto painted many views of London. But let's return to Italy. As the vedute were a popular souvenir among the wealthy visitors, a new generation of artists specialized in this genre during the second half of the 19th century. They started to paint these views outdoors, capturing not only the details of the architectural features of a city, but also the daily activities on the street, as well as the weather and atmosphere. Interestingly, many of these artists came from abroad and settled in Italy. Among them are the Peruvian painter Federico del Campo, the Czech-born Antonietta Brandeis, the Austrian Franz Richard Unterberger, and the Spanish artist Rafael Zanetti Perez, Mariano Fortuny, Martin Ricoy Ortega, and Antonio Manescau. And these artists were very successful, often painting the same popular views with minor variations. Well, I hope you enjoyed this short overview of the Vedute team in painting. Let me know in the comment section down below if you have any favorites among the artists discussed or the works shown. And if you want to support the channel, you can hit the thumbs up button and subscribe. Thanks for watching.